Last Starship. It's what the devs used to do on all their videos when they were giving us update videos. Welcome back, guys. Last Starship. We're going to start things off with a little bit of a bang. We have a bunch of people to rescue in this sector, but we also have hostile enemy contact and a meteor shower. So there's a lot of things going on here. Let's pause this really quick and see who we have to rescue. So this is a rescuable ship. Rescuable, that's what I said. And so is this one. So we know where these two are. And this is the meteor shower. Looks like the meteors are coming from this direction. Now, our enemy is down over there. It is a Rigel? Heavy fighter. Ugh. I don't really want to deal with them, but okay. So first thing I think I want to do, right, is turn ourselves in the general direction that's necessary to avoid immediate contact with the meteors. But also, this thing has front-facing cannons, I think. Yeah, I'm going to have to address this now. Now, it's going to be a little occupied with the meteors, but that's just its Gatling guns. So what I want is, of course, my big rail guns to go ahead and shoot this thing. Boom, there we go. That's what I need. Now, I also want to make sure that we're not going outside the hull, so please don't do that. There we go. Okay, now, this is going to give me some time while I'm dealing with this. It's going to give me a little time to talk about things, yeah? Because, oh my gosh, I had, of course. Yeah, so obviously it's been a little bit since we've had a video on this game, and it's because we now have 5. Wow, I can't avoid that. Yeah, that thing was gonna hit me no matter what. We now have 5 different playlists happening on this channel, and that might be the busiest I've ever, like, you know, I've done it to myself, right? It's entirely my fault, but it might be the busiest I've ever been as far as like simultaneous gameplay and stuff. Now, for the last week, my kids have not had school. They have something called midwinter break. It's a bunch of BS. So that's kind of prevented me from recording. But thankfully, I recorded a whole bunch in advance, like 14 videos, you know, early last week, really. Or that's when it was, when they were done anyway. And I had done that because, one, I knew about the midwinter break, but also because Urban Games, they are the developers of Transport Fever 3, they decided, and whatever judgment they're using for this, I don't know, I question it. They decided that I was worthy of inviting to New York City. They flew me out to New York City and gave me the ability to play their game, their new game, which is coming out later this year. And so I had that really great experience. If you want to learn more about that experience, I put out a video about it the other day about it, and you could see more about. I'll put it in the description just so you can, you know, kind of get a look at that too if you want. If I stop here to fix this engine, my worry is that we're just sitting here, right, with all the, you know, all this stuff happening, but maybe we will be able to shoot these things if they come at me, because I have people that are going to go, I believe I have people that are going to go EVA, perhaps not. Is nobody going to go fix this? Exterior work is on. Perhaps we can't fix it. You know what? We're going to rescue people with a bad engine because this is a rescue mission, not just pirates. The killing the pirates was an objective, but it is not the objective. I came here for other reasons. Ooh, there's another ship that just exploded. Yeah, this means there's more debris. It looks like it's mostly just scrap metal, though. I don't see anything of value out there. So we need to get these 2 ships rescued right here, and we're going to bring them back in. So why am I telling you about all this extra stuff, right? Like, why are we starting off a Last Starship video talking about things that are not the Last Starship, right? Well, we're doing this so that you understand, a little bit anyway, of what's going on the channel. I know that the expectation that like every single one of you who are interested in this series is like paying attention to the other things going on. Yeah, because I totally expect that to be happening. No, so I just wanted to kind of inform you that because we have so many series going on at once, totally my fault, because I just can't stop. I wanted to cover all of them. It means that, you know, we're not going to get things individually. If you're only paying attention to one game that we're covering, you know, you're not going to get updates as fast as you might like, because I'm trying to cater to everybody. There's something for everybody here. I've covered over 200 games on this channel over the last decade, so there's a lot of stuff that happens here. It's a variety channel after all. Ooh, hey, did that? Oh, that's so cool. I just realized that. I was trying to dock to this. I think that meteor hit this and it pushed it backwards. because I don't think this ship was moving. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the footage because I was about to dock to this, and then that meteor hit there, and then it moved. I think that's what happened anyway. That was really cool. Anyway, we'll undock and we'll back up. And you see all my drones are out, you know, doing their thing right now, and that's fine. We're gonna go over to this ship now. They're out there getting all the debris. I'm so proud of them. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, getting me loot. Now, I think if I turn myself, let's turn myself this way. Can we rotate? Rotate, please. Faster, ideally, would be faster. Oh man, we're not coming in at the right angle on this thing at all. I think is it rotating? I feel like it's rotating. The ship, I mean, not me. I wish I was rotating, but the ship, for whatever reason, doesn't appear to be rotating. Or I'm just really bad at this now, you know, it's been a bit, right? So I recorded way in advance. Every video that's posted over the last week was recorded a week ago, from when it, you know, so it's, yeah, this is definitely rotating. This ship is moving. This is not me. This is not me being bad at this game, all right? This is the ship. This ship is definitely moving. So I need to find a way to... we can do it. It's got a bit of rotation to it, but we're going to match it and get there and get it done. There we go. Oh. There we go. We're docked. Great. And then we're facing the right direction-ish to defend ourselves against the meteors while we do it, I think. And now that we're all good to go, we can go over here. And there's another rescue over here, which we're going to go do right now anyway. Because there's no point in sending everybody back to town and to safety if I can also get somebody else. Now, this rescue up here that we're going to right now is much simpler, I believe. It's there's nothing really all that significant about it, but I just decided that I wanted to do it anyway because there's you know, because there's a reason to do it. So I'm going to go over and get it. But I've got Hollywood Animal happening right now. I've got this Last Starship. Then I've got the live stream Last Starship, which is going to happen tomorrow. The live stream for part 3 of the survival mode for this is going to happen tomorrow. That would be Sunday, by the way, in case you're watching it later. Normally, I've been doing this on Wednesdays, but of course, I was unable to do it on Wednesdays. If my kids are not in school, then I cannot. I mean, I can't stream. My wife has a salary job. I don't. I got a very diversified income, but none of it's salary. So if I'm not actively in it, then it's just not going to progress. So, yeah. Only 2% damage is not bad. Survived that pretty well, I think in large part due to the armor. And it's worth it. I've got nearly 6 million credits. I think once this is done, I will have over 6 million credits. And we'll be able to use the 6 million, of course, to build our fuel ship or fuel factory, whatever we want to call it. Oh, you're moving. Yep, this one's moving. Well, I guess we'll have to go ahead and match your speed too, won't we? Yeah. Wow, you're booking it. Yeah, this is one of those things I think where if I didn't have docking ports on both sides, I wouldn't be able to dock to this. Because this thing is actually moving pretty good. I'm at, what, 20% throttle on this? And also the thrusters? Whoa! Auto docking. I gotta turn that off because it's gonna shut my... Auto docking kills the throttle as soon as it engages. I can't have that, so... Oh, yeah. There we go. Got it. I like that. So when I dock to it, it looks like it stops moving, right? So you see how the debris is going straight up here? When I undock, it starts to drift behind it, right? I like it. That's cool. It's the little things, you know? Sometimes it's just the little things. So we're going to go back to the shipyard. That's NG-12. And NG-12 has... We could go here too, but I'm just going to go here. NG-12 also has the next... you know, step for the Tidlets mission, but we're going to ignore that for now. And we're going to focus on building our fuel ship. And this ship is going to be responsible for, you know, making a whole bunch of fuel, which I can then take the equipment off of this ship to do it. I won't necessarily need it. And I may be able to even make this ship smaller by doing so. It does mean less cargo space, or less, you know, habitation capacity, but that's fine. If I make it smaller, it's also much more nimble, and it can, you know, move around, possibly get higher evasion, etc. So I might remove this. We'll see. It doesn't really matter. I've got a lot of money, so maybe it doesn't matter. But I want to go ahead and build a new ship. And it just so happens that the new ship that we're going to be building is right here. This is the frame for it anyway. You buy a new ship, right? For sale, new ship. So I can just kind of get a little bit further away from this thing. About like that should be good. And then right here is what we're going to end up building is the new ship. So I'm going to buy this. And we're going to go into our editor. And first thing we want to do is bring symmetry down. And I don't know what shape I want this thing to be. This is not the sprinter, or I think I'm going to call it a jumper. It's not really sprinting as much. I mean, FTLs are, it's mostly a jump, right, kind of thing. So I think we'll do that. But for the shape of this thing, I mean, it doesn't really have to be anything significant. It could even just be a big square, honestly. I was considering making it like a big fuel tank, you know, like we'll have something that's like, well, no symmetry. No symmetry. Yeah, turn the symmetry off on this, I think. Yeah. So I was thinking of making this like a big fuel tank kind of thing. Like the ship would just be shaped like a big fuel tank, you know, something like that. But it's very inefficient, you know, with a square grid like it is, and I'm gonna end up wasting some space doing that. But at the same time, when have I ever been like really efficient? You know, like do I have to be really efficient? I'm not sure. I'm also not sure how much I'm gonna need for the Stargate project. So maybe even a little bit bigger, right? It's just a giant fuel factory is what it is. This would cost me $2 million. Is that worth it? Let's make it smaller. Let's make a smaller oval. I know. It is indecisive. There we go. Just under $1 million is probably fine here. So we'll have this. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm that, and we're going to go ahead and get the floors in. There we go. And then we need to adjust the equipment. So in this case, I'm going to delete that and probably move the ladder. It's not in a very good spot. We're going to replace it with the docking port down. Right down here is fine. Replace it with the docking port there. And I think a couple of drone bays might even be a good idea here. We can put a drone bay there and a drone bay here. Turns out that's acceptable positioning. I like it. So 2 drone bays there seems like a good thing. And then we can outfit it with all the stuff we require for, you know, our fuel factory. And we can enable an auto buy where I will just hit this and then I'll buy it. Now, I don't think I want auto buy. I was clicking the box thinking that the UI would stay up while I do it. But that's apparently not the case. So I think I don't want auto buy for this ship. If I could get that back and have it not auto buy, that would be good. Let's see, is it in here? How do I turn that off? With the UI disappearing like that, how do I get it back? Anyway, this is just for now. I'm gonna call this big you're just gonna call this fuel tank for now. It's a terrible name, but I'm just gonna do it. And you know, they're gonna go in, and I assume that they'll dock to the old port. And what I want for this ship, because I need people in it, is we're gonna trade and get some crew in here. So we're gonna get, let's say, something like that. All right. And we'll get some people in there. And because it's a shipyard and everything, we have, you know, the ability to pop some resources in there, etc. So we'll put a little bit of oxygen in here. We'll put a little bit of water, a little bit of food, etc. Just kind of keep them, you know, in here so that they have it. And at least I now have some people that can go ahead and build things. And one of the things they'll build, of course, is repositioning the docking port over here. So this is the size of the fuel pill. Fuel pill? That's kind of a pill, isn't it? It's our liquid tank, right? This is the thing that's responsible for all that stuff. And so what I would like to do is I would like to go into the editor, of course. And if I place something, is it going to auto buy it now? That sucks. I actually really don't want that now. I'm hoping it doesn't do it, but I'm going to have some, you know, Metreon gas collectors. We need a lot of these things. So I'm going to say we put a Metreon gas collector 1. Ah, there we go. Yes. So it's paused. Let's turn that off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say I'm going to leave a little bit of a walkway. In the middle. Yeah, this is pretty much in the middle. We'll leave a little bit of a walkway. Maybe here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So expensive. Almost needlessly expensive to buy this many things. And yet I am going to do so. It's going to cost me more than 60,000, isn't it? It's got to cost more than that. You've been missing 13 when ongoing deliveries and logistics complete. Oh, right. The trading post has to have them available. Right. You can't just buy this many. You have to have them available. But this is the layout of the ship, right? We're able to, auto buy and all these things. Once it becomes available, we can have them delivered, and then they'll just do this. So it allows us to plan the whole factory without having the stuff. I had this available to me, this mode. I had this available to me before, but it wasn't something that was on my radar as doable or possible. So like I have it, and I'm going to do it. And so we want all these gas collectors, and then we want a whole bunch of huge tanks, I think, here in this case. So I think I'm going to take, let's have the ports on this side. So we're going to have a huge tank, let's say here, 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 here. And then doesn't quite line up, does it? Well, I'm off center on that side. Here, we'll start here then. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then leave 2 spaces. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. So a bunch of huge tanks that are going to store Metreon gas. Okay. And then I know this is overkill. I know there's just no point to having all of this, but I'm going to do it anyway because it just seems cool to me to have this really big, obnoxiously large factory that's in no way justified in its size. I like it. We're going to do it. And then we're going to need oxygen makers and all these things for life support and stuff too. So I'm going to have the life support stuff kind of in the back. And the oxygen maker, no. We need air duct. And we'll put this air duct, I think maybe just right in the back so it's out of the way is fine with me. We could put a small tank here to store excess oxygen. Seems like a good thing for me too. We'll put the loaders, the oxygen loaders. I'll go ahead and type that one. I was asked why I don't use the search bar more often. And it's like more often than not, I find anyway, that I can... Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm noticing that there's an arrow on this thing, and I don't know why. Is this the side they have to access it from? Or... Interesting. I don't remember there being an arrow on this thing. Anyway, we'll place it here. And most of the time I don't use the search bar because, one, it's not that hard to find what I'm looking for. Usually there's categories and stuff, like when I'm trading. It's not that hard to find what I'm looking for. But two, yeah, I got to stop, click something, then take my hands off the mouse, type what I want, and then put my hands back on the mouse, find the thing, and then I have to delete this in order to see the rest of the items. There's extra processes in that. So if I judge in the moment that I can find it quicker just by looking and clicking, then I won't use the search bar. I mean, I think that's pretty fair. But, you guys do you. Whatever you want to focus on, I guess we'll focus on that. We need a refinery to refine this into refined Metreon. So we'll have refineries in here as well. And I think I'll put them like right up against this. Now, I think it's probably best, yes, to place the ports on the outside here. So again, more things here. I think, is the arrow signifying where they have to access it from? I wonder, because I don't remember there being arrows on this thing, but maybe I'm just not as observant as I should be. That's probably it, honestly. We'll leave these refineries here for now. I could probably have more. And if I'm doing this as a big factory design that's all nice and clean and stuff, then fine, we'll do more. So we'll have it like this. And then that will get pumped into the more tanks, right? So we're going to do even more tanks. We'll do medium tanks this time, since we are going to be ripping them out of these tanks anyway. And we'll place these tanks right up alongside the refineries like so. Look at that. Just kind of... Oh, you know what? No, the ports should be on the opposite side. We really don't want them to be that close. It makes it harder to manage the resource. There we go. Although now the arrow pointing that way, they don't have to access it. See, that's the thing. Like, they really don't have to access this stuff. It's all being piped in anyway. And then the last thing we want to do is we want to get chemicals, all right? The chemical plants in here. So in this case, I guess I can't find it as fast as I'd like. So chemical labs. And we're going to place the chemical labs on this side. Now, I don't know if there are other usages for this, but this is where the refined Metreon is. And we're going to be using the refined Metreon to make all the stuff for the Stargate project. So all of this stuff is what I want to have. And we'll go ahead and have an auto buy on all of these things, and they'll bring that in when they can. Now, in the meantime, I need to install a ladder for life support. And this is where the docking port is. So I'm going to place the ladder like over here, I guess for habitation's sake. And then I want to go in here. We're going to change to habitation. And habitation being way over here is an interesting decision. We're going to erase habitation here. And we'll go ahead and redraw the habitation to be over on this side of the ship. And we don't really need it to be an oval. But, you know, I'm kind of thinking like we'll keep with the theme of ovals now. You know, why not? Let's keep with the theme of ovals. This is our oval. Oh, we're just going to shift it and move it over here. That's neat. Let's get rid of that too. All right, so we're over here with the habitation. And that's where the ladder is, so they can access it just fine, yeah? So we'll have a lot of the life support stuff, sewage treatment, all that stuff through here, but in general, I'm really not sure we need a lot of crew on this, if any at all. So I guess we'll have to evaluate that. But it's about what the liquid will be used for as we're making it for the Stargate project is really what it's all about. And also this needs some power. Now, given that we're in a gas cloud, it will be incredibly easy to keep fuel. So reactors make sense to me. And we're probably going to need quite a few of them for all the machinery that's on here. So I'm going to buy $400,000 worth of reactors and stick them in the back here. So we're going to say, so let's say life support stuff is maybe, probably should move life support stuff to be over here, shouldn't I? Considering that this is where the habitation is. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to move that over there. So that means the fuel can be over here. 1, 2, leave a gap, 3, 4. Oh, look at that. Did that actually line up? Yeah, let's see if we can take this one step further. I want to go with paint on the floors. And let's have this paint. We're going to go with like this yellow color. Right? And we can draw this line straight through here. Hot diggity dog. Look at that. Huh? I mean, I didn't even do that. I didn't plan that. It just looked right and it worked. And the thing is, it's not even in the center. It's off center, right? I should move everything down so it is in the center, which is easy to do. We could have this really thick walkway, to be honest. We could do something like, you know, if I'd make this really thick. Is this still oval tool? Oh my gosh. Don't do that. Yeah, box tool. I thought that felt a little funny. Yeah, see, we could just have it be like this. The whole center of the ship is this big, thick walkway. Now, I've had somebody comment, like, why do you put walkways? They can walk through things. Like, yeah, because I want to see walkways, all right? Were you born in a barn? I'm from the civilized world, okay? That's why. And then let's just take away this row and this row. So we'll have this 3-wide walkway directly in the center. I was going to do the whole thing, but I'm all right with 3. 3 is okay. So a big old walkway down the middle. And this is where everything will be lined up. So I just need to move this stuff down. And then I guess I can move this stuff down, but it's not as important. We're going to move a lot of this stuff down. All right, good. So that'll be where our big walkway down the middle of the ship is. And then we could also do something like this. So there's walkways in this direction, but I don't think it's necessary. For the aesthetic I'm looking for, right? I can do whatever I want. It's my ship. Let's take this, and then we'll go with the reactor. There's one space here. So we'll say it's one space like that, and the reactors are there. Cool. And then, again, we want to have more tanks and such as well. So I think we need just a couple of big tanks over here just to store our fuel. I mean, we're making lots of fuel. So, you know, we can store that fuel from here anyway. Yeah. Maybe we'll store it here, but the line's going to go down and feed the engines anyway. So, yeah, I think that's probably fine. So we'll say that the tanks are here, 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 and here. Here. Yeah, because all this equipment is going to shift down. I'm going to do that so I'm not thrown off. I'll be right back. All right, so I got the layout looking a little bit like this. It's pretty clean. There's a whole bunch of machines on both sides. They're all very similar, except how they're configured. So we'll make a bunch of fuel on this side. And then we'll go ahead and make our resin that we need for the Stargate project over here on this side to start things off. And then we've got a lot more space to develop any other types of production lines that we need. I may not need all of these to make fuel. To be honest, like I really don't need the fuel production anyway. So I might even go ahead and just like have all of this stuff producing resin. But the thing is, it's flexible. It's very configurable. And I don't really mind breaking down tanks, even if they're full, because I don't really have a cost of input. Like the gas doesn't cost me anything, right? And so you can see right here that they're starting to get, Metreon gas kind of starting to get collected already over here. And then we have a fuel loader here that's pumping fuel now into these reactors. And so we do have power set up on this now. I've got my pipes laid in, and I do have power at least here. Once this stuff gets turned on this side, we'll start creating fuel. But for now, we have this. And you can see I think they're not connected. So I need to have all of these pipes connected to each other so that they all feed into every tank. So now both of these tanks can begin collecting the Metreon gas. Then I've got these refineries. We can go ahead and have Metreon gas. Go ahead and creating here. There we go. There we go. And there we go. All right, now, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Stop, stop, stop. This side is... No. I think we are making, refined Metreon. Okay, I just want to make sure we're not making fuel. Yeah. So refined Metreon is what we want here. Let's go ahead and do that. And then, again, for pipes... We have the refined Metreon. Looks like it's coming out. So the top one, the top line is what we want here. So these need to be all connected together. Yep. And then we'll get these going straight across from here. And somehow those don't line up. That's peculiar. How did that happen? How did those not? Well, I guess this one didn't line up either, right? Yeah, okay. Because they're different sizes, dumbass. Like, it's, this is 3 tall and this is only 2 tall. That's how. Okay. There we go. All right. So we have all that and that's happening. And then the refined Metreon, right? It goes this way. So all the refined Metreon goes in these tanks, and then we'll have these tanks connected to each other as well. All right. So in this case, we would have you, once you're built, you'll go this way and you'll go this way. And then you will go this way and this way. So everything is connected the way it should be there. Yeah. And then we'll make more fuel as we get down here. But at least this factory is partially operating now. Right. We have refined Metreon going in here. And then once they, can build the chemistry labs and things like that, then we'll go from there. Now, I also need life support stuff on here for now because we have people and I do want them to be able to get outside their suits. Their oxygen in their suits will eventually deplete, right? So we are going to want to have something like that going on. And so one of the things we can do, I guess, since I tore all this stuff down, is I need to put it back up. So the oxygen loader, I suppose, I'll just have that be somewhere where I can see it is probably ideal here. Let's put the tank, which again, probably would be better to put the tank somewhere I could see it as well. Just, yeah. It's not as ideal. Maybe we'll go like this, like right up against the side here. I guess is fine. And then the oxygen can come out that side. All right, good. Now the ladder I already have. I don't need that anymore. I'll have to, probably should sell that. Our oxygen loader, I guess I'll put this right next to it just so I can see it. And then a small tank, again, so I can see the line here. We can place this. I don't really need to see it. Yeah, I don't need to see it. It's okay. And then we'll have all these things connected here. And then the cables will connect as well. So at least this will get the oxygen going in here, right? So we could start getting that to happen. And then I just need to make sure that we are purchasing a little bit of oxygen so I have it available to load it onto the loader in the first place. So, and then it'll all get loaded into the tank, and then they'll start having an atmosphere that they can, survive in. Now, it's not that deep, right? Like we probably should have heat, for example. We don't have that to deal with either. So I think initially, because it's going to take a while to get all this equipment installed, I think initially I'll buy a bunch of fuel. I can afford it. So we'll just buy a bunch of fuel. And I don't really need to reposition this station. It can stay right where it is. But in the event that I do want to bring it somewhere else, just in case, I'll get 4 thrusters. I just not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway, just so it has some maneuverability. It doesn't need engines or anything like that. And for that maneuverability, let's place it as far back as I can. I think this is the wall right here. Yep. So it'll be here, and it'll be also here, like that. And then on this side, looks like we can go about this far. So there, and then straight up from there will be here. All right, we'll just make sure that these are connected with the power supply. There we go. And then on this side, pretty easy to do there. And then on this side, it'll just be a line that runs down from there. Okay. That takes care of that. So we'll be able to at least maneuver it now. If I do want to bring it somewhere, I can get it to a line for the jump and then just do it for the jump. Shifting over to bad here. Our big, ambitious astral Demeter. I tried to like merge. I probably didn't do a very good job, but like tried to merge a few of the different names that were recommended into something that could kind of make sense, and this is the bad. All right, and what this is, I've had some people that just couldn't help themselves and had to try to spoil things. I really wish you wouldn't do that. They're telling me I really only need like 3 of these things, the energy transmitters. And it's like, okay, that's fine. But when you sell them, they're worth like 150 grand a pop. And so I've sold, that's where a large chunk of my money came from. I've been selling the energy transmitters on the market because they do take a little bit of time to make, but they're totally worth it, right? Because they're so good on money. So this factory is printing money very well. We're also spending some resources still making solar panels here, just to kind of get it to where we can expand even further our power supply. And so I can, for example, go in and continue to expand our solar coverage. Probably should do it on this one here just to make it look like complete. But these areas here, these stations here, will continue to generate solar panels for me so I can expand it until all of this is done. And at that point, the factory is ready to go. But because these aren't needed in very high quantities, it means that I can replace this production line. This area can become something else, and it's very easy to do that. You just delete things and then rebuild it, right? So it's not a huge deal. But in the meantime, it's printing 150K a pop. So that's nice. The game doesn't really simulate an economy per se. Yeah, it just has, this is worth this much, and you just seemingly have infinite money that you can sell things for. Even though there's limited quantities in the store, they have seemingly infinite money to buy things from you. So, you know, whatever. Just get a little extra food and fuel in the ship just because. There we go. Wait, no, that was a sale. That was a sale. Hang on. Resources. Put the fuel back. Yeah, let's put this stuff back. We can do that. There we go. So there's what the outside of our gas ship looks like for now. I'll probably put a yellow stripe down the center here too, just to kind of give it a cool look. But that's it. Just a big old pill full of equipment that's going to make a lot of fuel stuff for me. It's like a big fuel tank. The other thing we're going to need, though, is we're going to need a runner or a jumper. This is something that can move between systems and perform automated trade routes for us. Now, I could have the Procyon Cruiser do that. I could. But it's not ideal for that because there's a lot of equipment on here. There's a lot of stuff that it's generating, and it just doesn't have a whole lot of cargo space. What you need from a jumper is to have a pretty good amount of cargo space. And what you really need also in a jumper is something that has a lot of hyperspace scoops, because the jumper is going to be responsible for creating the stable isotopes, which is something that we need as an input for a variety of different things. And I think at the start, anyway, the Stargate capacitor is what I'm thinking of. So I need more stable isotopes for the Stargate capacitor. Now, I've got a whole bunch of Stargate isotopes, but notice it takes 25 of these suckers to make just one of these. I don't know how many capacitors we're going to need later. But just so we're clear, me stating that on video is not a cue for you to tell me how many I'm going to need, okay? But like I don't know that. But what I do know is that I don't have a stable supply or a consistent supply of stable isotopes to be able to supply 25 of these canisters to make one of these things. I'm making Stargate actuators. That's happening. We have plenty of energy coils. That's happening. And what I'll probably do is take the energy transmitter line and convert it into a line that makes Stargate actuators. That seems pretty straightforward. If I was going to do that, the actuators are being made here, right? So they're right here. I feed the actuators this way, and then I grab a supply, I have it shipped to here for the resin and stuff. And then I already have the energy coils routed here too. So that gives me the ability to just put these two resources together and have it done, right? So we're making actuators, and then we go in and we make this stuff here too. So, but in order to do that in the recipe, in order to do that and convert that line, I have to have a stable supply of stable isotopes. So for that reason, we're going to make another ship. We're going to make a ship that, you know, can do jumping. I'm just going to call this the jumper. So we're going to fabricate a ship. And we could start with a design that takes, you know, a certain amount of money and et cetera. This is, you know, okay. I guess I could have done that. This is cool. Meteor. It's got a lot of stuff, but we don't really need anything that's super fancy in that way. Just something that has a lot of cargo space, but also is fairly nimble and can get around and do things. And I think just a really quick, like, custom designed ship is probably fine. A lot of these things could work, but what I'm really looking for out of my ship is to have a really big front end, kind of like this, but it doesn't need all this extra stuff, right? So I'm not sure there's a design here that, you know, starts me off exactly the way I want. Maybe this one is like the closest, but I think I want even more scoops on the front of it. So what I'm going to do is just to have a new ship. And it's weird that I can't just start with a new ship right here. I want to just do another new ship. So let's go ahead and grab new ship, and we'll have this willed into existence for me. That's pretty cool. At the shipyard. That's neat. I've never done that before, so I was like wondering how the interface would work, and you double click on it and everything. I've bought ships and then retrofitted them, but I've never actually like had that generated before. Okay, so what I want to do is we need to get our symmetry mode. There it is. I need to bring this down. I'm not sure why it doesn't start it on the point, but it's fine. And then what I want to do is, well, I guess maybe it doesn't do that because I would want maybe this to be the outside of the ship. Maybe, yeah. Maybe that's probably it. Like, instead of having to move the docking port, we just make this the outside of the ship. Yeah, I think that's probably fine. So we can go and do something like this. So I'm thinking we go like this, and then I want the front end of the ship to be really big, honestly. Like, the front end of the ship needs to be like way out there. Like something like that would be ideal. And then, you know, we're not going to waste any space in the center, but I think we can maybe do a design that tears off, kind of like we did. Well, I mean, we're not going to make it round. So yeah, I think I'm going to have like almost like a triangle. But you want a lot of cargo space, so that doesn't really, it's not really conducive to that too. I just don't want a square. So I'll tell you what, why don't we start with this as the front. We'll say that this is how big we want the front. It's massive. It's got a lot of space for hyperspace scoops. And tanks, I suppose, too, but a lot of space for the scoops. Okay. And then we'll start by going like this. Let's just see what this looks like. It's probably not going to look great, but let's just see what it looks like. So I'm going to start like this, and I'm going to go down like this, okay, with the angled pieces. All right, so it's kind of ridiculous in its shape because this is the front. I mean, if it was this is the front, then that's kind of cool, but this one is the front, so it's a little backwards, I guess, a little inverted. But I think it's going to work out okay. And then this centerpiece here is not going to be the, you know, where the docking port is. And the docking ports will just be on the end. There's enough space here for a docking port, I think. So we'll go ahead and hit confirm on that. And then, of course, the floors need to be just opened up. So we'll just open this up all the way. There we go. It doesn't have to fight or be ready to go for anything like that. So, okay. So this is our new ship. And we are going to want to change the placement of this. We're going to want to break this down as well. So in the editor, I'm going to have to buy some equipment. It's not a big deal. So we'll buy the docking port here, and then we'll just sell the other one. I could put the docking port on the end over here, though. I just wanted engines for it to be able to move around. It needs to be able to maneuver quite well, too, which is probably going to be an issue since there's not a lot for thruster areas. Maybe I should put a little, you know what? I probably should put a little bit of a thing here just so it has the ability to have those thrusters. So why don't I put maybe this out like that, and we'll go about like this maybe with it. It looks a little bit different, but I like it. And then also this will be a wall, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, is engines, right? So then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So maybe right about there is a good space to stop on that. So we'll just expand that out just a little bit. It looks, you know, starting to get a little bit more wrench-like than we are from our stream series, right? Just a tad bit more wrench-like, but it gives it a little bit of extra character, I suppose. And then I can place the docking port now, you know, on the side here, or I think I'm still going to leave it over here. As long as there's enough space for a thruster is where I'm getting at for it. So there, and then also, I guess we need drone bays too. Drone bays can go on this side. So we'll do drone bay there, and then there's still enough room for the thrusters to go on this side. So there, and then also over here like so. All right, so that gives us a docking port and 2 drone bays for drones, and then everything else and this whole ship is pretty much dedicated now to the you know, the cause of FTL, pretty much. So let's go ahead and just have, oh, you know what, I have to confirm, don't I? Buy all available. There we go. And then once the ship gets here, I can get crew on this. There we go. So I can get crew on here too to start moving things around. So, I mean, I could have done this earlier, but I'm just doing it now. So let's have, let's say 4 crew on this ship as well. And we'll also provide them with, it needs a couple of initial FTL charges. So we'll buy those because we can afford it. Get a bunch of oxygen on here, get some water, some food, etc. It's going to end up picking this stuff up. This is the runner, so it can auto buy things whenever it needs to, whenever it, you know, enters various different places, and we're gonna end up running this around. So this is gonna be this says new ship right now, but we're gonna change this to I'm gonna call it the jumper. This is our jumper ship, and I'm just, you know, I guess I'll make it by me, but this is our jumper, and it's just gonna back and forth. Its entire job is just going back and forth through places. But the idea is we want it to be able to generate more FTL charges than it consumes while doing that. And that is why we have in industry, I believe, hyperspace scoops. Yes. So we'll have hyperspace scoops. And I'm going to do this in the editor because I think it's a little bit easier to do. So hyperspace scoops. And we want this to be as many as possible. So like 1, 2, 3. It's the whole front of the ship is just nothing but scoops. It's a very expensive endeavor, this ship. But it's going to be sweet. Maybe I should start from the other side, just in case it doesn't meet cleanly. It can at least not meet cleanly them. Man, I'm just noticing just how big this is. This ship is overboard, man. I went too far. We really don't need this much. I'm skeptical on my ability to maintain the energy supply for it. Now, thankfully, we are also going FTL so much that we'll have so much available to make more deuterium. So this ship can also produce a lot of deuterium. And if it does that, then we can power all of this equipment with... I'm not even entirely sure I can power all this equipment.